Welcome to the This Week in Golf podcast, and here we are kicking it off. And this week's star of the show is Torrey Pines Golf Course. We just finished the Farmers. The PGA just finished the Farmers. And in case you've been living under a rock and haven't heard, the Riviera Tournament, Tigers Tournament, the Genesis Open, which is in Riviera in Los Angeles, was canceled. And on Friday of the Farmers, last Friday, they announced that it will now be in Torrey Pines. Torrey Pines is set up. It's got the tents. It's got everything ready to go. So they're just going to move that tournament up. It will be a signature tournament. The Riviera tournament, the Genesis, is a signature tournament. Basically means it's a $30 million purse with a $3 million for the winner. And let's be honest with ourselves. The signature event should be at Torrey Pines anyway. As we found out last week with the course, it is an extremely difficult U.S. Open style course with rough, with length. If you want to see PGA Tour players get punched in the face and beat up, this is going to happen. It just happened last week in a non-signature event. What's the difference? Well, the difference is it sucks to watch golf. All the best players in the world did not play last weekend. A few of them did, but not many. Half of them are at LIV. Half of them are at the TGL playing indoors. The other ones just don't want to play because they're saving it up for the AT&T this weekend, Riviera next weekend. So they're, what's the term? Managing their schedule, manage decline. But it was a great tournament nonetheless. Love going out there. Obviously, if you can't see from the sign above me, I live in La Jolla. I am a regular at Torrey Pines. If you ever need any advice on getting tee times, on how to play, on how to get tee times, email me, jeremy@golfbpm.com, jeremy@golfbpm.com. And we'll try to help you get a tee time out there. The tournament was great, actually. Harris English won it. And for all of you that don't know, Harris English is a great player. He was on the Ryder Cup team a few years ago. And then he got injured, so he had to basically sit out for a year. But this dude has one of the smoothest swings on tour. Love his swing. Very easygoing, very stoic demeanor. Almost looks like, I don't know, like he's walking in the park. He never shows any emotion. But one of the things he did do was on the third day of the tournament, which happened to be on a Friday because of the way they stagger the Torrey tournament. The third day, he birdies the last three holes. Quite impressive. 16, 17, 18 at Torrey Pines. No walk in the park. He birdies all three of them, and he gets a two-shot lead. And then on the final day, he basically goes out and shoots even par. And one of the things he did, which no one else seemed to be doing, was he either hit it on the middle of the green, or if he did miss the green, he always missed short of the green and was chipping from the fairway. And he got up and down a lot on the back nine in particular. He had a lot of long putts. He was a great lag putter. And so, even on the 17th hole, he has to par the last two holes coming in. And on the 17th hole, he takes an iron just so he can put it in the fairway. Then he puts a ball onto the green about 45 feet away. He doesn't even go after the flag. So he just played it smart. He made it easy on himself. He gave himself easy up and downs all day, and he was able to convert. So he is your champion. Now let's talk about Torrey. Again, it's the star here. It's an extremely hard course. And, every hole I say to people when we play there, it's like getting punched in the face just constantly all day long. And it never gets easier. And for instance, let's talk about the par fives. Of the 4 par fives, there's only one that's reachable in 2. And at the U.S. Open, they actually play that as a par 4. But in the tournament, they played it as a par 5. I wonder if during the Riviera tournament, they'll play it as a par 4. They very well may. Anyways, so the 9th hole is 600 yards long. The 13th hole is 600 yards long. And the 18th hole is only about 540 maybe from where they're playing. but they strategically put a pond right in front of the green. So unless you're in the fairway, it's pretty tough to go for that green. And even if you do go for that green, because you have to clear the pond, it's hard to hold it on the green. Now, one of the things that's the genius of the golf course design at Torrey Pines is when you play it, you'd probably play from the green tees. There's a set of brown tees as well. They're not far behind the green tees. The black tees are for the PGA. They don't put them out. But the beauty of that is when the guys, say on the ninth hole, they're teeing off from the black tees, which is 600 yards roughly. Where their drives end up is where your drive would end up, or my drive end up from the green tees, or if you played the white tees. So it doesn't matter on that ninth hole whether you play the tips, the green tee, or the white tee. All your shots end up between the two fairway bunkers. If you hit a good one, you can probably clear the fairway bunkers, so you don't have to worry. But even still, you would land where the fairway bunkers are and roll past them. Very rare that you would hit it and go over the top of it. So this is the great thing. And this is like this on basically every hole out there. Every tee shot, there's a bunker off the fairway. So these guys didn't hit a lot of fairways. And if you can hit it in the fairway and it'll still roll into the bunker. So you got to hit it in the right part of the fairway. And that's why I'm telling you, this is why it's a US Open course. In addition to the rough, we haven't even talked about the rough. But the other item of note is you'll notice when they chip onto the green, if they're more than, let's just say 30 feet off the green, the ball is going to roll out about 15 feet. Everything rolls out at Torrey. So you're going to be dealing with it all day long. If you short side yourself, you're putting yourself in trouble. And that's why all of these guys were shooting over par. And really, the only reason that the winning score was 8 under, and then there were 7 and a few, there was a good number of people under par. But again, for the farmers, they play, because of the size of the field and the amount of daylight that we have out here at this time of year, they start players on the south course and the north course. Well, the north course is, for me, from the green tee, it's a 120 slope. South course from the green tee is a 136 slope. So a lot of these guys were shooting 6, 7 under par on the north course, and they came over to the south course, and then everybody ended up at 8 under par, or the winner ended up at 8 under par. So I'm excited to see when we play 4 days on just the south course for the Riviera Genesis Open tournament, how these guys do. And quite honestly, I hope they get beat up. I really do. I hope that the winning score is like 3 under par, and we shall see. Now, the final thing I'll say about the Farmers is that the Farmers is no longer going to be the sponsor. So they need a new sponsor for this tournament. And I've been saying it for well over a year since the sponsorship deal came up. It's like, why doesn't Liv just sponsor the tournament? It'd be great. Liv sponsors the tournament. You make it into a signature event. You let the top 50, I think it's 54 PGA guys in, and then you just say like, okay, the top 20 guys from Liv come over. So you play a 70-man field or 75. That's my idea. Let's make a deal, y'all. Let's get Liv to sponsor the non-signature events and get the purses bigger so we get the best names out there playing against one another. Next topic is slow play. Golf has a huge issue with slow play, the PGA Tour in particular. And again, it filters down from the top. Like if you're launching a golf club, let's just say you're going to make a golf club. The first thing you have to do is make sure a pro player can play it, and then trickle it down to all the other players below it. And this is what's happening with slow play. The PGA Tour has an issue with slow play. 2 weeks ago in Palm Springs, stadium course, the final round took 5.5 hours. Last Saturday, at Torrey, the final round took 5.5 hours. This is ridiculous. And you'll hear everybody prognosticate and make excuses as to why it's slow, but nobody wants to make it faster. Well, it's not that they don't want to make it faster, it's that they won't do anything about it. They won't enforce any kind of slow play rules. TGL has a shot clock. Let's get a shot clock out there. We were at Torrey Friday, there was this guy, I forget who it was. He hit it into the Viore tent. So he had to take a drop, and he's like 40 yards off the fairway. He has no way of knowing what his yardage is. So you know what he did? He walks all the way up to the flag, and he stepped it off old school. He just, counted his steps coming back. Like, dude, give these guys, like, first of all, when they get to their ball, even before they get to their ball, they should have some sort of beeper or something, the caddy, and it just gives them yardage to the pin that their shot's going to be. So when you're walking from your tee shot to your drive, you're already looking, you're going, okay, we got 142 yards to the pin, and it's 6 paces off the front of the green. So you already know, you're already thinking about the shot, you're already lining it up before you walk there. And that's a solution. Come on. And then you got, guys like Jay Monahan, the commissioner, going, well, if the round goes longer, that's actually better because then the sponsors get more commercials in and yada, yada, yada. This has to be fixed. And I think the shot clock is a way to get to it because it does work with the TGL. In fact, if anything, it's like if you're watching the TGL and, we're all passively watching it. We're on our phones half the time. Like they tee off and you're just like so trained to have to wait 3 minutes until they hit their next shot. But at the TGL, they're just like, they're on the clock and you end up missing shots. So I think that's the way to do it. And we were out there, guys like Ludwig Ahlberg, dude, he plays so fast. And then you're like, some other guy in his group is just screwing around the whole time. Like they need to do something about this. And then my final thought for viewing, because it's, if you're going to watch the final round, and let's just say you're watching the back nine and it's taking over 2.5, 3 hours, and there's commercials and it's golf, so it's kind of boring anyway. The PGA Tour needs to do a 1 hour, 45 minutes, 1 hour condensed replay, just like the NFL does. Give it to me. So if I get home, I'm out golfing on Saturday and Sunday. Give me a condensed replay. Give me, I want more than just like the stupid ESPN replay that only shows the best shots. And they just kind of loop over that over and over again. I actually want to see it played, but I want to see it in a condensed replay. So give us what we want. Give us the condensed replay. Next topic is social media influencers, content creators. Last week, Rick Shiels went over to he's like a YouTuber, if you don't know, millions of views, one of the most popular channels on YouTube. And now he's been hired by Live to basically do exclusive content for Live. And the PGA Tour has what they call the Creators Council, and it's like 8 or 9 different social influencers. So there's like this full run between the tours now, not just on players, but on content creators, because they know they have to create content so that the younger fans are watching on YouTube. You didn't give us a 1 hour condensed replay, so now I have to go on YouTube and try to find it there. And then while I was there, I saw a video on Bryson playing with somebody, and now I'm down the rabbit hole of videos. So now these content creators are going to create content at the tour and Live, and we'll see how that works out, because let's be honest, the PGA Tour is like so uptight and so controlling of their product. Like what happens, these guys are going to be like loose cannons to a degree. And again, they're still not allowing them to create content on the day of the tournament. I think Liv will be doing that. Rick will be doing that with Liv. They're talking about all different the formats that he's going to do, but one of which will be walking around the course and basically filming and talking to players as they're doing it live. But the PGA Tour won't do that. They're like, oh my God, you can't have somebody filming and posting on social media inside the ropes during the tournament. Could you imagine? Oh my God, we'd lose control of the product. Okay, this week we are going to Pebble Beach to play the AT&T. I guess it's a signature event. It still might have a celebrity aspect to it, which made it one of the greatest tournaments ever. It would be a Pro-Am. Yeah, it's still a Pro-Am. I think they just cut the field. So the Pro-Am is, give me a guy. Lucas Nelson playing with Bo Hostler, for instance. Or Pat Monahan. I don't know who Pat Monahan plays with. Pat Monahan is the lead singer of Train. Ray Romano telling some jokes. So you have these celebrities, and then what the celebrities would do, if you go there and you volunteer, then on, I think it's either Thursday or Friday after play, all of the people, the performers, do a performance for the volunteers. I got to go to it one year. It was great. You know, I walk in, Ray Romano's telling jokes, Lucas goes out and plays a few songs, Pat Monahan, Hootie was out there singing. It was great. But a great tournament. $30 million on the line. Last year, Wyndham Clark won it. Scotty's coming back. Xander will be there. So all the big names this week. So we'll have plenty to report on next week.
Hey, it's Jeremy Callahan, and thanks for listening to This Week in Golf. Make sure and hit subscribe so you can get all the latest news and analysis from Golf BPM.